I'll let it go twice. Y'all caught Patty chewing something.
I'll put my chips up.
Hey,
I was having a snack.
everybody. Thanks for joining us. Tomas says hey. Tomas isn't feeling too good, y'all. He's been running a little fever. We think it's allergies. Pretty sure that it's allergies.
His ears. We think it's ears. It's allergy in his ears now, maybe getting infected.
Yeah, might be getting a little infected. He's been running a little fever, so he's not his normal bouncy, happy self. But he's still pretty. He's a pretty doggone good kid, even when he's sick. Huh, Tomas? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Tomas is actually going to stay with us one more night, which is why he gets to be here for the show, because he's going to miss a day of school tomorrow. He doesn't like that, I don't think. He may act like he does, but I think he has fun in school.
Well, they're saying they help you feel better.
Oh, hey, Tracy.
Thank you.
Tracy and Julie on Facebook, Stephanie, and Therese, your pal Therese.
Hey, Therese.
So bear with us as we still getting used to juggling this Facebook and YouTube thing, where Patty is primarily responsible for looking for questions in the YouTube chat, which
That's why I keep looking down over here.
Which moves at a lightning pace oftentimes, and at least on the Facebook feed, we have fewer numbers on the Facebook feed, but also it's not a chat, it's a comment, so they don't just go flying by. So we don't miss them as much as we do. So on the YouTube chat, speaking of missing them, please, if you have a question for us or a comment for us, please type it in all caps. And if we don't answer it in a reasonable amount of time, type it again in all caps, because it does make it a lot easier to see questions and comments that are directed at us when we're glancing down at the chat. Because if you're new to the chat box, a lot of folks come just to talk to each other. And there'll be some detailed conversations going on between each other in the chat box, and it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, it really does.
For if it's in all caps, if you've got something that's directed at us. Sound okay, everybody? It looks like, looking at the meters, everything looks fine. Oh, let's see. All right, so let me see here. Where you want to start, honey? Well, let's start with this. I haven't seen. Hey, Jean, how are you? I haven't seen Wanda. I know Wanda is chilling today, but let me go ahead before she may come. But Kitty, get ready to throw out the Deep South. The Deep South PayPal email address. I'm assuming everybody watching us, especially on YouTube, Facebook, you probably saw where we talked about our pal Wanda King over at Deep South Homestead. Had a little medical scare this weekend, dealing with some pressure in her chest, and she's still having a little discomfort, she says. But y'all, it was unbelievable watching the community respond in agreeing with us in prayer and holding them up in prayer, her and Danny both. And somebody, I know Jen was one, JM at the Nut House, who was constantly posting their P.O. box that people could send them cards and letters of encouragement. If somebody can grab that P.O. box and one of the moderators and post it in the live chat, it's there already. Jen's already done it. Jen is on the ball. And also their PayPal email address. Spending a night in the hospital and having a bunch of tests run.
And she had a lot of tests run.
She had a lot of tests run, and she's going to have some more tests run tomorrow on her gallbladder. And so, look, let me say this perfectly clear right up front. Danny or Wanda King, neither one have asked for a dime.
That's right.
They hadn't asked for a dime. The only thing they've asked for is for our prayers, and we're glad to give that. But this community just has a tendency to rally and in support of people they love.
That's right.
Trust me, we know.
Felt it. That's right.
Because we were the recipients of targeted affection after my wrestling match with the dog and had to have my face sewed back on, and it was overwhelming, and we could feel it. And so it is certainly not a requirement. Nobody's begging for money. Nobody's asking you to do anything. But if you are, if you have the gift of giving, or you just feel compelled to send some love Danny and Wanda's way, well, you can go to PayPal, click Send Money, click Friends and Family. That's the two options. When you click Send Money, you have two options. You can either do it like you're purchasing something, in which case PayPal takes a little cut. They take a percentage. Or you can choose Friends and Family. You can use PayPal to send money to friends and family, and all of it goes straight through. Now, I had a couple people comment on some of the videos yesterday that they chose Friends and Family and ended up having to pay a fee. I don't understand that unless the policy has changed very recently, which it may have. I haven't checked on it. I should have. I meant to. But unless the policy has changed, if you send money through PayPal using Friends and Family, then PayPal lets it all go to the recipient, and they don't take any of it. So if you're of a mind, if you feel the urge, if you've got an itch, scratch it and go to PayPal, send money, Friends and Family, WanKingDan20@gmail.com, and bless Danny and Wanda like they bless everybody else all day long. Okay, so I've said my piece. Hey, Linda Ennis, howdy from Tennessee. We'll be in Tennessee. When?
Oh.
Right around the corner.
Yeah, right around the corner.
May 6th.
Like,
It's May the 6th. We will be at the Great Appalachian. Y'all help me. I'm a redneck from Mississippi, and I stumble over Appalachian. I think it's Appalachian Homestead Conference that Patera's putting on in Crossville, Tennessee, and we will be there May 6th, and we're looking forward to hugging some necks. We're not presenting or anything. We're there to just meet folks and enjoy the presentations that are already scheduled.
Yes, and it's 3 to 4 weeks away. So
yeah, right around that, which is right around the corner, really, and hug some necks, take some selfies with each other, and it'll really be a fun time. And then in October, which will be right around the corner before we know it, we'll be at the Homesteaders of America Conference in Warrenton, Virginia, October the 14th, I believe. I didn't look it up, doggone it. I've had this picture loaded in Wirecast for several weeks, and some outstanding presenters. Joel Salatin will be there, Lisa Steele, Esther Emery. I mean, just come on, y'all. It's going to be fantastic. And we're actually presenting. I'll be actually talking about critical incident stress, managing critical incident stress after a trauma. Speaking of that, if there's a link in the description of this video, we are offering in return for your email address, and I promise I'm not going to spam you, but there's a link in the description of this video where you can get on this email list and download a free PDF, When Trauma Strikes. I'm working on a book by the same name that goes into greater detail, but this PDF has the critical incident stress diffusing principles that we employed following our trauma to protect our sanity and our emotional health. And you're welcome to have that. It was written by the Mississippi Law Enforcement Alliance for Peer Support, and they graciously allowed me to edit it for more general usage. It was originally put together for law enforcement professionals and like officer-involved shootings and whatnot. But trauma can happen to anybody.
That's right.
And it can happen anywhere, including on a farm. And if you don't believe me, look at my face. Although you'd have to look pretty hard nowadays. It's just really, really amazing.
And you know what you haven't been doing?
What?
You haven't been wearing sunscreen on your scars like you're supposed to.
Ooh, man, and I've been at tennis matches and everything.
At least that one you did put on sunscreen.
Yeah, that one I did. We went to East Central Community College in Decatur, Mississippi, and they've got a beautiful 8 brand new tennis courts, and they are gorgeous. But can I tell you, they ain't got nothing else right there. I mean, it's a new softball stadium, a new baseball field, 8 beautiful new tennis courts, and not a tree in sight, not a pavilion. They're going to have a building and a pavilion and all that. And it was just nothing but sunshine.
I was glad that I didn't get to go with him, because I guess I'd have to sit in the car. I don't know. because that would have been hard.
Alrighty. So what else? We missing anything yet in the chat? We need to.
Jayton said that is correct. That PayPal does take out from the giver. That there's a fee, and somebody.
Well, that's new because
Becky said that she got an email from PayPal that said at the end of the month and end of March they were changing their policy on sending money to friends and family, and she said she could double check.
I'll be well. See, because because people were sending us blessings following our trauma and to help us with our medical expenses, and it said no such thing. And in fact,
well, maybe the person getting it doesn't realize it. Maybe the receiving.
Well, here's the thing. I sent money to Danny and Wanda, remember? Yesterday or day before using PayPal, and it did not tell me that there was any fees.
I don't know.
I have to research that. So anyway, I'm curious, and I'll have to check with. I'll get Wanda to check. Of course, she may have to weed through a bunch of gifts to find ours, but I'm curious to see. I'll tell her how much. And I want to know how much it said they got.
Dolly Perry said, "Not if you click friends and family." Just sent money last week, so. It seems like different reports are coming in on this, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'll need to research that, but it didn't indicate to me that they had taken any fees out of the. I sent a round number to Danny and Wanda day before yesterday, and it told me that's how much I sent, and didn't give me any, and that was day before yesterday or yesterday. So
I don't know.
Anyway, ain't no sense in arguing about it.
I've never done PayPal before, so I wouldn't know. So
Linda Ennis on Facebook says I should take an umbrella for shade next time.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I told him about the last match, that I needed an umbrella, but I don't even know where an umbrella is right now. I've got to buy one.
But let me tell you this. I wouldn't have been able to hold on to it at the East Central match. It was like they played tennis in gale force winds, and I think it seems like I've talked about this on.
I think you told them about it.
How? This didn't happen. It happened since last live show.
True. Yeah, you talked about it on a live thing.
Yeah, I guess I did from the garden or something. But I saw something I'd never seen. One of the opposing players, not the guy Corey was playing, was watching another match before Corey's singles match. And one of the opposing players hit a little cut shot, if you know what I mean. It just kind of hit the racket underneath it to hit a little soft shot that he hoped would die right across the net. And the wind blew so hard that the ball literally floated up near the top of the net, stopped in midair, and came backwards. The wind stopped the ball and blew it back in the direction it came. It was unbelievable. So I couldn't have held on to an umbrella if I'd have had one.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. All right, what you got, hon? Anything?
No, just some people are saying that maybe it depends, or that it does depend on whether it's a credit card or what, that there will be a fee. Possibly
that's a good point, because I actually used a PayPal balance.
Yeah.
And it's not tied to a credit card, so it would have been, it's tied to a debit card. But that could be it, because we actually had I had been putting some in there to keep it just for things like that, and so using the PayPal balance, that may be it. All right, so we've had a lot going on.
Yes, we have.
What you want to look at first?
Well, I guess we can start with the chicks. We're still having chicks hatch out. I have 5 turkeys, 5 out of 6 turkey eggs hatched out.
That's midget white turkeys.
Yeah, and that's chickens right there, though. That's a picture I've taken for a girl. She's coming tomorrow. She's getting 11 of the little Delaware chicks.
That's Delaware's, huh?
Yeah, they're getting about 3 weeks old now, and I have some that are about a week or 2 old. And I have my Bielefelders. I had a girl come pick up a couple of Bielefelders. And so the chick, we're not advertised as much as we need to. I need to have some more sales coming on. And
chicks for sale. Hey, Facebook, we've got chicks.
But anyway, so but I've been pleased. We've had a great. I lost 1 chick, and I only lost it because I believe it got trampled. I've got the bigger birds and the younger birds separated for when they first hatched out and everything, and I think a bigger one kind of hopped my fence that I put up,
Escape artist.
Yeah, and so I think that's what happened. So, I mean, we've had great success this time. Our hatch rate's been pretty good. I'm really pleased with that hatch rate. I know it was just 6 eggs because the turkeys were laying really slow. Now they're laying really good. But they were laying really slow, and so when I'd get a few eggs, I'd put them in. So I'd put 6 eggs in there, and 5 of them have hatched. So that was really a good hatch. I also have Bielefelders that'll be hatching out this week, so I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited
because
about that.
turkeys are notoriously
Yeah.
bad, have bad hatch rates, and then
They die easy.
They're known to die easy and be hard to brood and raise. At least
And
that's
yeah.
our experience, and also we've read
Right,
about that.
right.
But I don't know if it's something about these midget whites that are particularly hardy, but we haven't lost any.
No, we've not lost any of the turkeys that we hatched. We had a girl get 8 a week before last, I believe, and I talked to her since then. They're all doing good. And like I said, the 6 I've hatched out that I still have, they're doing good. Somebody asked what pullets we have. The Bielefelder are sexed at birth by their color. So I have just 2 Bielefelders hens right now to sell.
We need to keep them.
Well, we've got 11 eggs. I moved them now. They're hatching. They'll be hatching next couple of days.
We want more Bielefelders. We've only
Yeah.
got 2 hens, grown hens, and half a dozen roosters.
No, not now, because we have. Let's see.
Oh, we sold one, didn't we?
Yeah, we only have 3 roosters now.
And
So grown
counting,
roosters, yeah.
counting the one that's in with the hens, we've
Yeah.
only got 2 over here.
Yeah, I
really?
sold, yeah, I sold
okay.
one. And
Good.
I got another man that wants another one, and the other one's going to be eaten.
So how many Bielefelder eggs do you have in the incubator now? Do you know?
At least, well, I mean, 11's fixing to be hatching, and then I have another dozen or 2 dozen more to hatch. So
And we're watching that closely because so far that's been the only mark against the Bielefelders.
yeah,
Is we love them. They're pretty to look at. They've got a great size to them. They lay eggs well. The eggs are a reasonable size.
yeah, they're a nice size, and that's their first season to lay. So
Yeah,
I
so
feel
they'll
like
probably
they're gonna
get better,
Big eggs.
bigger.
I've read that they have big eggs.
So one of the nicknames of the Bielefelder, if you do an online search for them, is the Uber chicken. And of course that's probably said about a lot of breeds, but a lot of people have considered that.
I've really not read that a lot about different breeds.
Well,
I really haven't.
but they're supposed to have it all, and so far we were thinking, boy, they really do. And then the first time we tried to hatch
Yeah.
some of their eggs, it was dismal.
Yeah.
I don't remember how many.
I can't remember, but I mean, it was like a 50% hatch rate at best, if it was 50%. So I'm not gonna just go on that. I'm gonna see what happens with the next ones in there.
Jolynn Butler, those were Delaware chicks on Facebook. Jolynn Butler asking what kind of chicks, I'm assuming in the photograph, and those were Delawares.
Also, I wanted to finish telling about the
I interrupted
breeds. Yeah, that we
I'm
have.
sorry.
Well, I was just trying to get this out because I had a question I won't forget.
Okay.
But anyway, we have the Bielefelders, we have Delawares that are for sale. They're not naturally sexed, so they're straight run. But I will have red sex links hatching out on the 14th. I have 60 of those in the incubator. I don't know what my hatch rate's going to be on those. I've never hatched those before, so I'm real anxious to get those. I think I'm going to put another round of those in there. My egg business is really going good. I think we could really go with another flock, and Tommy's going to build me another place to have chickens.
Did y'all catch that?
Anyway,
Little chicken math going on here.
Tommy's going to build me another place to have chickens in front of Mama's house, and so I think we could have another flock over there. So,
Big Bear went to Tractor Supply today and come home with 76 chickens.
Oh my word!
Robin posted that, and she didn't have her happy face. I think they had a buy one get 75 free deal going on at Tractor
Well,
Supply.
the girl that came and bought the Bielefelders from me a few days ago, she couldn't pass up a deal that they were only $1 a piece at Tractor Supply because they had over ordered. I guess really
Probably what happened with Jason.
They were thinking about how it was last year. People couldn't keep birds last year.
Yeah.
Everybody was running out because everybody.
He's got a video up about it, but I hadn't had a chance to look at it. But I bet that's what it was. I bet they had a special, and he just couldn't resist.
And 7D Farm, you said how long will I have the whites? I assume you're talking about the midget whites. We plan to keep some. We ate one for Thanksgiving, one for Christmas, and I really enjoyed it. The plucking wasn't so easy with them, so I've got a few things in mind. Like we have a plucker. It got clogged up with the feathers, so I plan on plucking by hand the tail feathers and the wing feathers. Throw them in the plucker and see how it works. If that don't work, we may just have turkey at Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
But
and raise them to sell.
Or we may skin them, but I think they taste so much better with the skin on them. But I was very, very pleased. They were 7 months old, and they were so tender. I was really afraid that they were going to be kind of tough. And they weighed 11 pounds, somewhere around 11 pounds, a little more, a little less. But I was very, very pleased. But if you're interested in some, let me know. I'm selling the midget whites. I guess you call them chicks too, I guess. No, you don't. I can't think of the word you call it. But anyway, they're $10 each, and if I raise some up, they'll be more than that. But anyway, so.
And we've discovered, how many hens do we have? Midget white hens?
We have 4 hens.
We discovered something that may be a trait of midget white turkeys. I don't know if it's a trait or if it's coincidence, but 2 of those 4 hens are broody beyond belief.
Yeah.
And so
and it may be the other 2, because early on we had 2 that was wanting to go broody.
So maybe all 4. It could be possibly. That they've taken turns.
I really haven't read about that. And we have our turkeys with some of our Delawares, so I don't want to let them sit because the chickens will get in there and lay eggs, and that's just such a pain. I wish I could separate them and just let them. I really like to see a chicken or a turkey raise their own babies, because then you don't have to buy starter and all that stuff.
Turn it down, please.
But anyway, we'll have to. We need more. We don't need more area. We need more houses.
Hint, hint. Nudge, nudge. Wink, wink. Say no more.
Anyway, so.
Yeah, so we may figure out how to do that, because it's crazy. I mean, I'm talking about full on broody. Every time I go out there to get eggs, there's usually 2 hens in 1 milk crate.
Yeah.
And that
and it's hard to get to the eggs.
Yeah, it's hard to get to the eggs, and they go to hissing, and they're not mean.
Do they bite you?
No.
They just used to get off when I come.
Well, they just kind of, but they don't act ugly to me. But I usually now, it's funny. I'm wondering if it is 2 different ones, because those first 2 that were broody, when you'd go in there, they would flee.
Yeah.
But these 2, I've got to pick them up and take them out of there to get to it. And the problem is, if you're not right on time collecting the eggs out of there, they break them, because they're so heavy, and they don't ever break their eggs, but some of the Delaware eggs break.
Yeah.
So we really need to see about setting up a pen system just for them, and I'd like to see what they would do raising their own.
They've been very, very hardy. We did lose some, mostly to dogs, and I think really maybe all to dogs. And I was very upset because I paid a lot for those turkey pullets. I bought them each for $13 a piece, and there was a minimum. I can't remember how many the minimum was that I had to order. But anyway, thank you, Jean. They're called Jake's and Jenny's, the turkey pullets.
Oh.
Not necessarily.
I ain't gonna
chicks.
remember that.
I mean, not pullets, the turkey
poults.
Chicks.
In
Poults.
general, they're poults.
Poults.
They're not chicks. In general, they're poults.
Yep, Living Greedy. Great, it said that.
But long as we know what we're talking about, it don't matter.
7D Farm, if you'll just send an email to turkeys@aldermanfarms.net, we'll get it, and we can go from there and talk about getting you some going. Getting you some. I have quite a few. I put in 30. They'll hatch sometime in May. I can't remember the exact date. Well, Tommy can reach my book over there, I can tell you.
Which book? The graph book?
Yeah. I've been trying to keep detailed. Notes. Give it to me.
I was passing it in front of the camera so they could see all your details.
Let's see. I have 12 to hatch out on the 18th of midget whites, and then there's 29, not quite 30, on May 4th. So anyway, and I found that midget whites, and anybody that's familiar with them, let me know. They're a smaller breed turkey. They're not as big. The hens get to be 10 to 15 pounds, and the now I want to call them roosters, toms, get to
Gobblers.
the gobblers get to be about 15 to 20 pounds. So
Boys.
they came up with these turkeys in the 1940s, 1950s for the table bird to go on the table. That's not real huge. So anyway, so we're going to have plenty. I haven't advertised that they're going to be hatching, but I was fixing to do that soon because I've got, all these sex links that's going to be hatching. I've also got 30 Delaware that'll be hatching on the 25th. So anyway, no, not on the 25th, on the 14th.
If y'all are keeping notes, that adds up to a lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
We were supposed to build a new brooder. I've got all this little wire, but we've never gotten around to it. But sooner or later, we're going to start keeping these chicks,
Yeah.
Not selling them. We got to keep some for
Yeah,
ourselves.
especially Bielefelders. I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. But we've had a good go of it, hatching.
Homesteading the Pioneer Way said that that they read that the Bielefelders didn't do well in the hot weather. Let's see. Is this our first lay-in with the Bielefelders? This is their first time to lay.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we had them over last summer. I mean, they've been laying for a while, but this is leading up to summer. We got them back February, March of last year. They did fine. Yeah, they did fine, and they started laying. They've laid us some eggs. We've had them with the Freedom Rangers, so we don't really know exactly how soon they started laying. But they made it fine. Now we'll see about the egg production, during the hot weather.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
So here, since we're talking about chickens.
Oh yeah, look at this. Now the one to the far left is a smaller chicken egg. The one next to that one is, I'd call that a large egg. And then the next one and the next one are just bigger and biggest eggs, because
I wish you'd have thought to put a ruler down there or
yeah,
something.
I wish I'd have held it in my hand and taken a picture of it, because it's huge.
You ain't still got that egg, do you?
No, I sell those to the restaurant because they are actually using our eggs to make their pasta, or a lot of our eggs to make pasta. And so they use the yellows, and so I thought that, that's a good benefit to them. They pay for the price of one egg, and it's like they're getting two in that. So
yeah.
Anyway, I had 3 of those, and actually that is the Freedom Rangers that are laying those huge eggs.
Yeah, and that you just don't understand. The one, let me put them back up there. Let me put them back up there for just a second. The one that is second from the right, we get those. That's like the typical double yolk size, right?
Yeah, that's our everyday egg, every other day egg.
Yeah, we get one of those, and it's a double yolk, almost every day or every other day. But that monstrosity on the far right, that's the only time we've gotten one that big. And y'all, it was almost as big as my hand.
No, well, it was. Is it on there? Like on my hand, it easily would have covered from all of my palm all the way up, and maybe even higher, some up my fingers. It was so big.
I mean, it's like, hang on, this chicken just laid a potato.
And you know what I did too? I was excited. I thought, I want some more of these chickens that lay these huge eggs, and so I put the double yolk eggs. I think I put 3, and I made sure I marked on the tray where I put them, because I thought, I want to have some of those chicks. Well,
we needed to update this because we said we were going to do that, and everybody was saying they weren't going to hatch.
Right, and everybody was right. They did not hatch.
They did not hatch.
But I'm going to tell you this. One of them for sure did either have a giant chick in there or either 2 chicks in there. I didn't take it all apart, but I mean, it tried to hatch out. So,
Interesting.
You know, there was something in there. It wasn't that it was infertile or anything, but it didn't.
Yeah.
It didn't hatch. So, and I've learned you can't really help them hatch because they end up having problems. It's something about them going through the process of getting themselves out the shell that helps them. So, somebody asked, let's see, Mid-South Homesteader says, do you have problem with chicken snakes in the summer? I will say, as of yet, we do not. I still gather eggs and everything, but if we ever had a problem with chicken snakes, I would never go out there in the barn again. But we have pigs, you know, and pigs are, you know, all around. They're not in with the chickens, but I think that that's a good deterrent for snakes. In fact, you know, everything is we need to do a film one day and show just how clear our property is because of having the goats. They have really kept everything eating good. And then the pigs also are very helpful. And chickens are good too as far as scratching around and stirring up piles of stuff. And so as of yet, you know, we haven't had a big issue with snakes. So, you know, I hope we don't. I'm going to put a pig in a chicken pen if we do.
Yeah. Let's see. I'll tell you what.
Well, let me say bye to Amanda. Thanks for stopping in. Says she's got to get back to the garden, to the beans and the peas to plant. I'm planting cherry tomatoes as soon as we're done. So I've got to get out there and get that done. Supper's already cooked.
Yay. So I'll tell you what we'll do. We've got about 30 minutes left, a little less than 30 minutes left. We've got lots of garden stuff that we can cover. So before we do that, let's talk about, we've had our final baby goat of the season.
Yes.
And, I wish we had a close-up of her face. Her name is Monroe.
Yes.
And I hadn't put it up yet. And it was a difficult delivery. Her mama, whose name is Sane, S-A-N-E, because her mama's name was Crazy, and she's not. So, you know, we got so many critters that we have to name. We have kind of an unusual system. In fact, with 2 hogs, one of them had a floppy ear when it was little, and so we named it Floppy. And her sister that we kept did not have a floppy ear, so her name was Not Floppy. Seriously, we lost Floppy.
I named them.
Patty did.
Carl-Ann fusses at me.
Yeah, so we had Floppy and Not Floppy. So this little goat is not crazy like her mama, so I named her.
Yeah, Tommy named her.
I said, we'll call her Sane, because she ain't crazy like her mama.
Her mama's name was Crazy. So.
But she had difficulty, and it was my second time at bat for midwifery. Patty says that's how you pronounce that. I think it ought to be midwifery. I believe her. It's midwifery.
Well, I may be wrong, but I've heard that before.
Oh, maybe so.
But somebody on here knows the correct
Somebody on
way.
here knows whether it's midwifery or midwifery. But anyway, I was the midwife and had to help deliver the baby. It was the second one we've had this kidding where the face, it wasn't breech. It was presented with face first, and its head was this big.
But that was not the problem. The problem was there was no paws.
No paws.
They're supposed to be born with
their
the
hooves.
paws.
Hooves. So I was able to easily get the right leg out. It was presented to where I was quickly get a finger in the crook of the knee, I suppose, and came right out. And but then there was I won't get any more no more TMI than that. But had to help her, and it was traumatic for the mom, and the baby made it, but the mom didn't show any interest in the baby for, was it later that day?
24 hours.
24 hours she didn't show any interest.
No, really a little more than that.
Plus, she just wasn't making very much milk. And anyway, to make a long story short, we decided to lock the mama and baby up together. And after coaxing and presenting the baby to the mama, initially she was like butt at it.
Yeah, and she would let us hold her or eat feed and let the baby nurse, but she wouldn't let the baby just approach her and nurse. She would butt at it and everything.
So make a long story short, though, a little after 24 hours or so, we see this. And I know it's kind of dark. The picture was taken in the barn. Actually, I think I saw this first.
Yeah, you filmed that.
And
That was the first time that we saw.
Yeah, and the thing is, she let her nurse. What did we say? What did I tell you? Figured out like 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Because while I turned around to see this right after I did a little live update for about Wanda, and I turned around and saw that they were still doing it, and so I shot that little video and sent it to Patty, and we were very, very excited about that. So anyway, Becky Haley's watching, Donnie Parrish on Facebook, Becky. Jonathan Newman Ivy, hey, from Clark County 911.
Hey, Jonathan.
All right, so Jonathan's got our back. If anything goes wrong during the live feed, Jonathan, send help.
I've got a couple of things. Gene O'Connor says your pigs keep the underbrush pretty clear, don't they, Patty? They do.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and we had the goats first, so the pigs have really, they've just really enhanced what the goats had already done.
Great symbiotic working together.
Yeah. And we have them actually separated right now. We have run together. I really do not like running them all together all the time.
Especially during kidding season.
Yeah, we don't do that during kidding season.
Because the pigs may eat the babies.
Right. And also, hello, Wanda. I'm glad you do feel well enough to be
here.
Yay,
Wanda.
She was out watching Danny plant some corn, so that's good. And so we were glad.
I hope you were only watching Danny plant the corn, Wanda. Don't make us come over there, although we are coming. When? Very soon.
Soon. We're coming that way soon.
Yep.
All right. Now, also, I like it when this happens because it happens so very seldom. But with word things. But I'm right.
What?
It's midwifery.
Is it midwifery?
Yes.
Well, I didn't. Now wait. I didn't say you were wrong. I just said it seems like it ought to be midwifery.
I know, but you were thinking in your head, I'm always right when it comes to words. She can't be right.
Hey, go back and play this. Go back, rewind this, because I think I said she's probably right about this.
I'm just teasing, darling.
All right. So, hey, Sandra. Cousin Sandra is watching on Facebook.
Well, Tommy's the word guy and the English major, and so... he feels the need to correct and stuff. So I'm
a grammar Nazi. It's a mental deficiency. I'm sorry. I'm trying to reform that. Okay. Yeah. Hey, I don't know if we have an answer for this. We're fixing to turn to some garden stuff. But Tammy Bain McGraw on Facebook wants to know any suggestions on plants that deter bugs from other plants in the panhandle of Florida, and the bugs are bad. Somebody's going to have an answer if we don't.
Yeah, I'm sure these people on here will probably...
on YouTube.
On YouTube will have a lot more answers than me. I've always heard about marigolds, that they're supposed to deter bugs. There's other things. What did I just read about? I can't say the word. Aphids.
Aphids?
Aphids. I just read something about that it deters...
I can tell you that's part of what companion planting is about.
Yeah.
There's a neat little book called Carrots Love Tomatoes that's all about companion planting, and sometimes the plants themselves may not be deterring insects, but you may be able to plant combinations of plants where one plant draws a pest, the other plant draws the predator for that pest, if that makes sense. It'll attract the type of insects that will eat the insects on your other plant. So,
and sometimes that happens a lot of times with all the spraying that's done, because the spray will kill a lot of the bugs. And like wasps in your garden, they eat a lot of the bad bugs. But you have to deal with wasps helping pollinate your stuff.
Yeah.
So some people, that's not so bad, because you may not have the bee population coming in and pollinating your stuff. I remember one year we planted peas, and it was before I found out I was allergic to the wasp and everything. But I remember it was hard to go out there and pick, because I didn't know there were that many different kinds of wasps.
Yeah.
They were just all. Remember that?
Yes, I do.
In those peas,
it creeped me out.
They didn't sting us, but it just was so many wasps. And some people would spray to get rid of the wasp. We didn't, and really that was before I knew wasps would eat the bad bugs.
Yeah. If you can plant things to attract ladybugs,
Okay, yeah, Jayton said that, and she said Marigold too.
Ladybugs are don't let their pretty little faces confuse you or fool you. They are killing machines. And ladybugs are awesome to have. You can even build little ladybug hotels, and Sesame Street even has a great. Every time I talk about ladybugs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and the ladybugs came to the ladybugs picnic.
I didn't watch Sesame Street.
Oh, I did.
I never did like it.
And
I've never heard that song before.
I've actually got that in as a favorite video on YouTube. I found that little clip on YouTube of the ladybugs picnic. And,
I have never heard
yeah,
that.
it didn't show them killing anything. You know, probably would have freaked out the children.
And Jean O'Connor says she's heard that the more you mix the plants, the more confused the bugs get. And that makes sense.
That does make sense.
Also, there's a cucumber beetle, I think it is, that looks just like the ladybug, except it's yellow.
Right.
And they will wreak havoc.
Yeah, you want the red ones.
Yeah, you want the red ones.
You want the red
don't
ones.
think if it's a little yellow thing, it's a ladybug. It's not. So.
All right, so yeah, look for that book, Tammy. The Carrots Love Tomatoes. If I think about it, I'll link it in the description before this video finishes processing. All right, so just a few minutes ago, just a few minutes before the show started, I went out and shot a little video of the garden. So this is what what you're about to see is what the garden looks like right now. And I'm going to let it play, and Patty will talk over it and tell you what you're looking at. She hadn't seen it yet, so this will be fun.
Yeah. All right, this is the horseradish, and it's growing great. And there's the arugula. If you can notice, like to the right upper corner, it's really short. I picked it for the restaurant. Over to the far left is the cucumbers. Is doing great.
It'll go for a minute 18 more, and it'll come back around and start over.
This is the nasturtiums. They're doing wonderful. I can't wait for them to be growing up. And you can see beyond that, the little chamomile and basil. This is some sunflowers, and I did put some baby's breath in front of it, but I didn't come back and water the next day, and it was really hot. So it looks like a lot of it's gone. I've already had one picking on my lettuce right there, and it's doing really good. I need to pick it again. The alderman peas are blooming. They're already up to the very top.
You got the jute twine on there too.
Yeah, I got my jute twine on there. Beyond that is the mustard greens. I need to get out there and pick us some mustards too. I'll probably do that in the morning early. The potatoes are fixing to start flowering. I saw some little buds. I've actually had potatoes that did not flower because I guess I planted them late or whatever. They still make potatoes. So I'm excited. I think they're so pretty when they flower. This is the squash, and it really has grown since we put it in the ground. I guess it's been in the ground about a week. That's the lima beans, and they're doing great. The end of the row don't get a lot of sun, so if they're not up real good down there. This is the tomatoes I got in yesterday evening. It's 70 tomato plants, and the row next to it to the right will be my cherry tomatoes. So, but anyway, so we're just stepping forward or stepping across the garden towards the barn. We're kicking the Freedom Rangers out. We really need to go ahead and slaughter them. We do have the man that got the Freedom Ranger chicks from us.
Crosses.
The crosses, yeah. The Freedom Ranger Bielefeld crosses is very pleased. Said they're very hardy chicks. And he would like more if I hatched more, and I hadn't intended on hatching more right now. But I may go ahead and do another setting of those in the incubator and let that be it until after summer, because I'll probably hatch out probably in August some more. Well, it depends on how many roosters and stuff we're left with for our meat. So I like to slaughter that around October. So anyway.
Yeah, when you got a guy telling you he'll buy them.
Yeah,
you know, it's hard not to hatch it. It ain't that hard to do, especially if he'll come get them before they start eating anything. You know. Yeah,
and they're just. I didn't have a great hatch with them. I think. What did I say? 50% hatched or something like that. No, the Freedom Rangers.
Oh, really?
They didn't hatch good.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, well, I have it written down right here.
I thought it was more like 60 on them, which is not great. But
no, I had 20 hatched and I had set 30 eggs,
so that's
not great.
I don't have a clue.
But
I don't think.
Anyway,
hey, Miss Sandra Breland Strupek is watching
Sandra.
us on Facebook.
Is it Sandra Strupek Breland?
That ain't what she's got.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
It's Miss Sandra.
Yes. She's always just Sandra Strupek to me because that's
Yeah.
what she was in high school when I was there. So, anyway, hey Sandra.
Hey, Barbara Floyd.
But I
Best po' boys in the universe. Po' boys plus. Never mind. Flashback.
Yeah, across the tracks.
Yep, that's right.
I've eaten there with you.
So we just showed you the tomato plants. That's the 70 hand-dug tomato plant holes that Patty did yesterday. And before you say anything, Gene O'Connor, I made the rows. Thank you very much. And I was in the process of making that bed on the right when Patty was out there.
On my hands and
Yeah.
knees crawling down.
By the
road.
way, we had a viewer, a YouTube viewer, that asked us to show how we made those permanent beds, because those beds will be permanent. It'll be the last time this tiller
That
goes in
is
the garden.
our
That's
plan.
our goal.
Yeah, that is our plan.
Based on the principles found in the outstanding book, The Market Gardener, which I do have listed in the description of the
Yes,
video
yes.
on Facebook
Yes,
and
yes.
on YouTube.
See how handy it was because we look at it. a
Yeah,
lot.
it's always laying right here. So
Yes.
the
like that book.
idea would be to
And he's got videos too on YouTube.
yes, he has there's a great
Yeah.
playlist that somebody
Yeah.
posted of a 12-part talk he did going through how he
but-
arrived at his stuff.
And I think there's other videos besides that too. So.
But we'll just build on those permanent beds year after year. That's the plan, amending them with organic matter and compost and mulch and things of that nature. So that was I just showed you. Let me put it back up there. That's what the holes look like after Patty dug them. She started with a PhD post hole digger, and it was just too heavy, so she got down there with a little hand shovel and dug those holes. And then that's what they look like after the tomatoes and after you had added some old broken down barn manure, I believe.
Yeah, I always put in the bottom of my hole, I put a little bit of Epsom salt. That helps with blossom end rot, I found. And then I fill the hole up with, it's dirt and manure. It's goat manure, so you can put that straight in.
Yeah,
It
it's
doesn't
not
burn
hot.
the
Goat
plants.
manure is not hot,
Yeah.
especially after it's been in the barn mixed with
Yeah,
dirt. You
yeah.
know,
So that's why I put so much too. And then I also fill the hole up with water. Then I put my plant in and then put dirt around it. But
Hi, Leela Buck from Michigan on Facebook.
Jayton says she loves our garden, and thank you very much. And JM at the Nut House wants to know if I've ever grown loofah gourds, and I have. I still have a few. In fact, I liked growing them. I actually just let them grow on the fence, and they did great. They just went
Yeah,
crazy.
they did. They produced. We were shocked at how well they produced.
Yeah, they really, really did good.
Are we growing any spaghetti squash this year?
I have one up there to get the seeds out of. So, I've with my spaghetti squash, I've gotten seeds, and they weren't pure, or either they crossed.
Oh, that's
I don't know
right.
if they can cross as they're growing with my zucchini and yellow squash, but they were not a pure spaghetti squash. So
Hola, Juan Pablo.
I've bought this one Pablo.
Juan Pablo.
Hey, Juan.
Facebook. ¿Cómo estás, mío?
But anyway, so I bought me one at the grocery store. That's where I first had got my seeds from. I bought one at the grocery store because I'd never heard of it years ago, at least 10, 15 years ago. And so, anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the seeds out, and I'll need to dry them. So I'm going to plant them a little later, so maybe they won't mix with the squash. Or maybe if I could get you to till me up a row, like further away from the garden, would be good too.
Yeah, we can do that.
But Jean wants to know, do we eat the nasturtiums? Yes. I'm planning on maybe being able to sell some of the blooms, the flowers and everything. But somebody just told Tommy that you can eat the leaves, and so
I ate one yesterday, and it was yummy. I've forgotten actually what it tasted like, because since then I also grabbed up a handful of chickweed because people were saying, hey, you can eat that. And how stupid am I?
What?
I don't know you people on the internet telling me to go eat stuff. And I just run out in the garden and, well, I read it on the internet. It must be true. And grabbed a little bunch of chickweed and popped it in my mouth. And it was yummy. And I think if I remember correctly, the nasturtium leaves were they had a little bite to them.
yeah, you said that, a little pepper.
Did I? A little peppery, but it was really good. So,
And Jean's wanting, not Jean. Susan said, aren't the tomatoes kind of close? They ended up being about 18 inches apart. I think I haven't measured. I thought I was putting them a little closer than I did, but you know, we've got the deep bed that we're using. That's all soft dirt that's in there, and also plenty of fertilizer. And we will come back and fertilize the tomatoes again. So we're going to use the Florida weave method like we did last year. We really like that. That's why I really want to put the tomatoes in a box, because I think they do really good in a box. But I remember trying to do the Florida weave year before last in a box, and it just don't work real good.
Yeah.
You know.
Speaking of the Florida weave, watch this. That's for the replay.
Oh my goodness. I thought you were pointing to my head.
No, I was pointing to the card that will be up there.
Yeah, if you remember.
Later tonight, if I remember. If not, it'll just be funny.
Yeah.
Hey, last week we told you about, we sold some breakfast radishes to Betty's Eat Shop, to Chef Andy. And we forgot to load a picture. There it is. That's what they look like. Aren't they cute?
And I've got one more picking of them. I've actually picked them 3 different times. Of course, the first picking was the biggest, and then I have some that hadn't gotten as big, so I'm going to be picking those. And they bought arugula twice from us last week, so
and loved it, raved about it.
Yeah, just really loved it. And in fact, Andy, there was a younger guy there that works there, and he told him, he said, taste this. This is what arugula is supposed to taste like. So they really liked it, and so they got...
Tootsie, Tomas, stop. Tomas, stop, please.
Tomas is in the window making barking sounds, and Tootsie's barking at him. So
yeah.
So
speaking of Andy, Betty's Eat Shop in Brookhaven. If you're ever in Brookhaven, Mississippi, give them a shout and give them a try. They love to use they use AldermanFarms eggs, AldermanFarms arugula, breakfast radishes,
and anything else that we can get up there, we can grow for them that they said they'll take. So.
We love our relationship with them. We'll probably, if it continues like that, we'll be growing things especially for them. In fact, the arugula was especially for them.
Oh yeah,
right?
Tootsie, hush.
Hush, Tootsie.
Hey, listen, Susan. How do you say her last name? Baloo. Oh, okay. You can't. Okay, I just bragged on you.
No, yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, but anyway, Susan that asked the question, why do you dry your seeds before planting? I plant mine directly from the squash.
Interesting.
Well, because I thought I had to, and I'm glad to know I don't. So I'll plant them sooner than I had originally planned. So I'm glad you told me that. Thank you.
Hey, Deborah Ansley.
Oh, hey, Deborah.
All right, we've only got about 7 minutes.
Okay.
So.
Beth asked, what do we use for fertilizer? I use
poop.
Yeah, the goats. So I just that row of tomatoes took 2 5-gallon buckets of fertilizer, filling the holes up that I had made. So, and like I said, we'll come back later and do some more top dressing around them as the season goes on. If I remember, it gets so hot when it gets to June and July, but that's what my goal will be, is to come back and fertilize. All right, what else do we have we need to show?
Well, we've got, you tell me.
I don't know what I can't see.
Okay, here's the pictures that you gave. Did you want to look at either I know. Maybe this one right here. See them. Oh, sorry, that's right.
Oh, that's just the potatoes.
Yeah, Patty was so proud to go out there and find
I was excited.
The beginning of a blossom on a potato. Great. Yeah, so we'll show you. On our grow arch.
Yes, our grow arch is doing great. I love it.
This, I believe, is the Thompson grape. I'm not sure which one this is. Either Thompson or Vanessa. This one, I mean. That's either Thompson or Vanessa.
No, that's
This is the one I'm about to show. This one right here is the one on that side closest this way.
Yeah. I've got 2 of one of them, I told you.
Yeah, I forgot. Either Thompson or Vanessa, either one. Our blueberry bushes that we planted outside the garden, 2 out of the 3 seem to be thriving. I didn't take a picture of the 3rd one because
it looks like sticks sticking out the ground.
Yeah, it's just got sticks in the ground. That's the video we've already shown. That's your picture of the alderman peas.
Yes,
we've already showed that on the video.
you can see that they're reaching that top row. Also, I did lose a couple of my squash plants, and I'm thinking it was, oh, what heck, I done forgot the name of it.
Bye, Linda.
Some kind of disease. Damping off disease, I'm thinking that might be it. I'm not positive. That's the only one I lost like that, but if you remember, I lost some of my kale too.
Yeah.
Some of my problem has been putting the mulch too close to my young tender plants. Didn't realize I couldn't do that, and I read when we went to Memphis. I read a couple of books that we had on mulching stuff, and so what was that last picture? I wanted to show that. My bed.
Oh, you want to show that?
Yeah.
That's not the last one, but I got there's one or two more.
This is that new bed that I had made, me and Aunt Rosie, and I just want to show you how much it's grown. And that really doesn't do it justice, but it really is growing good. So this is a squash plant up close. I think I've got some little blossoms starting to form on them, so I'm so excited.
Things are just looking so good in the garden. I mean, just really good.
Yeah.
I gotta gather up pine straw this evening if I can, unless you got me doing something else.
Yeah, I think you're going to be helping with the manure today.
Oh, okay.
But Jean asked if it wasn't cutworms. No, I really don't think it was cutworms. I think I would have had a broader loss because it really was like the little young tender ones. And Susan asked too if I have to have some kind of license to sell to a restaurant. No, not here in Mississippi, not as of yet.
Not for produce.
Yeah, not for produce. I do have, I am NPIP licensed, so that makes me legal. Yeah, to sell eggs to the restaurant. Of course, you know, we can sell the pork to the restaurant if because of the way we are having it packaged and everything. We just can't go sell the pork at a farmer's market and all that because we don't have the refrigerated trailer and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, but thank y'all for the comments about how the garden looks and all.
Yeah, I'm
really excited that it's going good.
Well, we've only got a couple of minutes left. We definitely want to remind you, as we do every week, that whether you eat or drink or whatever you do, do all to the glory of God. You can find that in 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. But let's not end there tonight. I tell you what, let's do. Wanda is in here, and I know she's been the beneficiary of many of your prayers. We're so thankful of what God has already done, that turned out it wasn't her heart. That's what the tests indicate. But how about this? Will y'all join us and let's pray for Wanda one more time together? Facebook group and Facebook folks and YouTube folks. Let's pray for Wanda and Danny, and first of all, thank God for what He's done so far, and just trust Him to give them some answers and surround them with grace in the meantime. Let's pray. Father, we are so appreciative of who You are. Lord, You are so wonderful. You're so kind and overflowing with mercy and love toward us. You treat us far better than we deserve. We deserve nothing but destruction. And yet You gave Yourself as a sacrifice for my sin, for our sin. You died for sinners who weren't seeking You. You died for people who hated You, that we might have new life and come to love You. We love You because You first loved us. We thank You for the kindness You showed Danny and Wanda yesterday. And we're thankful for the test results that came back negative. And Lord, now we know that they need clarity and answers. And so Lord, I pray first of all that You'd make the discomfort go away, that You would touch Wanda's body, heal her of the discomfort and the pressure. And Lord, to give her an understanding that it's over, that she's been completely healed. I know she'll glorify You for that. I pray, Lord, that if it's her gallbladder, that they'll know that as of tomorrow.
Yes.
And there'll be a simple way to remedy it. And Lord, we just call on You to envelop them in Your grace, give them peace. You are the God of all peace and comfort. And we just pray that Your Holy Spirit would surround them and that they would feel Your love and our love. And I pray that You would keep them on all of our minds to continue to be lifting them up before your throne. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, thank y'all. We're out of time, so you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate all of you. Goodbye from Alderman Farms.